Ladies and gentlemen, can I please have your attention? I've just been handed an urgent and horrifying news story. And I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
And with that being said, Rick Thompson with the news.
Interesting coitus interruptus there. That was cool. And good evening, everyone. I am Rick Thompson. It's the news, and this is June 12th, 2014. Let's talk some exclusive information that's not available anywhere else in the media. The Safer Michigan Coalition has increased the number of cities actively seeking petition signatures for ballot initiatives to reform marijuana laws in local cities in Michigan. And now they've campaigned and launched in a total of 14 Michigan cities. Now, we all know from previous Planet Green Trees broadcasts and Compassion Chronicles articles that the Safer group is seeking marijuana law reform measures on a local basis. Originally, it was in as many as 10 cities in Michigan. Well, then we reported that there were 12. Now we're happy to report 14 active campaigns to correct marijuana laws on a local level in Michigan. Now, of course, you've heard us report in the past, Hazel Park and Oak Park have completed their signature gathering process, and they'll have legalization measures on the ballot for the August primary election. Still actively collecting signatures are Michigan cities Saginaw, Montrose, Utica, Harrison, Clare, Onaway, Mount Pleasant, East Lansing, Lapeer, Portage, Berkeley, and Port Huron. Now, that's a lot of cities. But wait, there's more. 4 additional cities are on the deck for action this year, including Pleasant Ridge and Huntington Woods in Oakland County, Frankfort up north, and a Wayne County community to be named later. I read a message today that said the Harrison crew has already collected enough signatures to submit their petitions, but they're holding out to overachieve that signature goal. Now, there's 47 days remaining to collect those signatures, so congratulations to the groups sponsoring the work, and let's get busy. You heard it here first. Nice, huh? Now, next, we'll evaluate the actions issued by this Michigan Supreme Court earlier this week. You heard Michael mention the Carruthers, Tuttle, and Hartwick cases during his rant. Now, the Supremes will hear arguments in Tuttle and Hartwick. More information about those cases will be available later in this broadcast. A third case, People v. Bylsma, was held in abeyance, on hold, so to speak, until the 2 other cases are resolved. The Carruthers case, as we talked about, will not be heard, unfortunately, and that leaves our friend and past Planet Green Trees guest, Earl Carruthers, in a lurch. And best wishes to him and his loved ones. But also decided by the Supremes this week a refusal to hear the case of the Clinical Relief Group of defendants. Now, they'd argued that the positive aspects of the McQueen case could be retroactively applied to their case, which originated from a raid on their Safe Access Center in Ferndale during August of 2010. The Supreme Court denied the appeal, so the Agros and Company will end up back in Oakland County Circuit Court nearly 4 years after their initial raid. What a long, strange trip it's been. USA Today is causing some internet hoopla this week with a brief report under the splashy yet threatening headline, Marijuana Plays Larger Role in Fatal Crashes. The nation's newspaper cites a Columbia University study that found dope, as they called it, contributed to 12% of traffic deaths in 2010, up from 4% in the late 90s. In other words, marijuana use is rampant, and it's on the roads, which, as more and more states move to legalize marijuana use, are now awash with the drivers using marijuana and smashing into buses full of school children. Except that they're not. The study cited by USA Today in the week's article says merely that marijuana was detected in toxicology studies following fatal crashes. And since evidence of marijuana use can stay in the body for weeks, the study's authors noted there's no causal link between pot use and fatal auto wrecks. But why let the facts get in the way of a good headline, right? You see, the problem with stories like this is how easily and conveniently a study's findings can be twisted. Those researchers at Columbia University found that fatal wrecks involving marijuana tripled, but post-mortem toxicology results just returned positive for marijuana presence. Just means more people are using marijuana, not that more people are causing accidents. And the researchers even admitted that in the study, taking pains to point out the prevalence of non-alcoholic drugs reported in this study should be interpreted as an indicator of drug use, not necessarily a measurement of drug impairment. Guys, that's it for the news tonight. It is June 12, 2014. I'm Rick Thompson. For all of these stories, tune into the keep an eye on the Compassion Chronicles, and when you're looking for information and conversation about the marijuana industry in Michigan, check out the Michigan Medical Marijuana Association's website, michiganmedicalmarijuana.org. I'm Rick Thompson. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you, Rick, for the